Hi, reviewers. Lindsay, we worked on adjacent conference before. I don't know if you remember. But anyways, I'm Sun, and today I'd like to show you guys something that I've been playing with over the last couple of weeks. Does anybody know what this is? Maybe some. It is called a tuning fork. Something that I only came to know about a couple of months ago. Totally new to it. So for those of us who are new to what a tuning fork is, it is an instrument that dates back in the 18th century, normally used by musicians to tune their musical instruments. So what they usually have to do is to listen very closely, pay attention to the pitch of the tuning fork, and then try to match their instrument to the pitch of the fork. But as I've been playing with the fork and experimenting with it, I realized that because of its very unique properties, there are many other things that you can do and play with the fork rather than just using it for musical tuning. And I'd like to show you some of the experiments that I've been playing with. So this fork right here, normally you can just hear the sound of it. And so, but then, for example, if you want to visualize what that sound looks like, there are multiple ways that you could do it. One way is to use the laser beam reflection on a surface. With like a small piece of mirror attached to the tuning fork, when I strike it, it should show the form of the wave. So I'm just gonna do it like this first. So as you can see, there's like the line that goes from very large to small. But if I start to turn the tuning fork like this, basically, over here I have a servo to do that. It's a little too bright, but if you look closely, you'll be able to see sort of like a sine wave of what that sound looks like. Another example that I'd like to show you is these two tuning forks, which are rated at the same frequency of 440, which is the equivalent of the musical note A. Let's see what happens if I hit one of them. Anyways, I don't know what you'll think, but to me that's very exciting, especially for someone who doesn't have a sound background or music background to play with an instrument like this. So during this very playful learning experience, I realized that tuning forks is a great metaphor for the process of creativity of my own, as well as many of my ITP friends here. Why is that? Because as I listened to my ITP friends and reflected on my own creative process, I realized that creativity grows out of our everyday life, out of the most spontaneous experiences, objects, people around us. This process oftentimes requires letting go, being curious and open to things around us. Sometimes all it takes, not sometimes, a lot of times all it takes is to pick up something, an object that looks interesting to you, maybe a sound that's intriguing to you, maybe a data point or a data pattern or a data visualization that looks cool, or a scientific experiment that you play with. And a lot of times, these objects or these experiences could be something totally absurd and random that you've never seen or encountered before. So I think that for our creativity to flourish, there are many things that we can do, but there's one thing that I'd like to share with you today. And one might think that, oh, that's easy, but I would argue that it's getting harder, and that is pay attention to the world around us. What does that even mean? As creative thinkers and creative makers here at ITP, we all talk about the need to be open, the need to embrace experiences. But it's getting harder because we all have that thing in your pocket, in our pocket, that takes all the attention, all the focus away from us. But looking back at the times when I was able, or me and my friends were able to put that thing down and be able to tune in, to focus, to listen closely, to develop a genuine interest in interacting attentively with an object or with that something, someone, we often ended up with the most amazing and inspiring creative outcomes. And so for my thesis, I really want to replicate that. And once again, I want to call it a slow motion multitasking journey that includes me picking up that something that's been intriguing to me for the last 4 months, that was actually introduced to me by a dear friend here at ITP. He's sitting over there. But unlike me, he has a sound engineering background. He is a musician. He plays 3 different kinds of musical instruments, if I remember correctly. I don't. But I'm going to work with it, play with it, interact with it. I'm going to experiment with it and explore it from every angle possible. And I'd like to share what I find throughout that process, and hopefully by the end of it, even create an output or a product that is inspired by the end of it. Before I run out of time, I want to show you this thing. So, very unlike a tuning fork. So it's funny because when you immerse yourself in something, it's like in front of you everywhere. So instead of doing this, what if you do this? So to close it out, I just want to say, pick up your object of interest, follow me and my tuning forks on this spontaneous journey, and check out 29 Days of Tuning Forks on Instagram. Thank you.